Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another What's for Dinner. Now, it might seem strange that I'm telling you good morning and saying welcome back to a What's for Dinner, but this was actually morning when I was making this. This was a Saturday morning breakfast. But if you're anything like us, we love breakfast for dinner as well. So I wanted to include this one in here. And this is actually a recipe that works well for breakfast. You could have it for lunch, you could have it for dinner, you could make it for an appetizer, and I'm pretty sure if you've been around YouTube long, you have seen this recipe. So this is the one that you use the crescent rolls on the top and on the bottom, and then your filling is a cream cheese sausage mixture, and you just bake it in the oven. That's what this is. Now, I have to say, I tried this a while back and I did not love it. It just wasn't my very favorite. I wasn't quite sure why. I love all the components. I love the idea. But I just didn't love it like I thought I would. But I made a few changes this time. We absolutely loved it. I will make it like this from here on out. Very minor changes, but it really added some additional flavor to that cream cheese layer. So you saw me getting half of those crescent rolls in the bottom of my pan, pinching those together. This is the hot sausage I fried up here, and I'm just using my paper towel to remove the excess grease. The hot sausage really was a great addition. I love the flavor that it added. And then I'm just going in with a half a block of cream cheese, a little less than a half a block. That is one of the changes that I made. And then I'm going to add in some shredded cheddar cheese. This is actually a Mexican blend cheese. No seasonings or spices in the cheese, but it's just the blend that has various kinds of cheeses in the package there. So I added in just a good handful, and then I'm just going to go in with the same utensil that I love to use for getting my meat pretty fine. I had used this already for my sausage, rinsed it off, and now I'm using that to go in and get all of these cheeses and the sausage mixed together. Now I've just clicked the flame back on, and I'm going to let this sort of warm up so it can be all incorporated before I add it on top of the crescent rolls. Now you can see here between the sausage and the cheeses, it's continuing to give off some grease here. I do not want that in this recipe, so I'm just going back in with some more paper towel and just letting that be soaked up so I can get rid of that before I put this all together. When I made this once before, I made it in like a, not a 9 by 13, so probably an 11 by 7, something like that. And I can't remember if I used a full pound of sausage and a full block of cream cheese. I followed the recipe that I saw on the Jessica O'Donoghue YouTube channel. That's where I originally saw this one. But this time I've decided to use an 8 by 8. You saw I used a little less than a half a block of cream cheese, a good handful of shredded cheese. I used a half a pound of sausage, and then I'm just using one roll of the crescent roll dough. So on the bottom, I have half of it, and then I'm going to cover the top of this with the other half of the crescent rolls. And can I just say, please forgive me for such terrible, terrible looking fingernails. My nail polish was chipped off like crazy. We had been painting and doing various things, finishing up our kitchen remodel, and I had not even paid attention that my nails looked this awful. I just knew, it had been a busy week, and I knew they were chipping and looking bad, but ooh, they are bad, you guys. So just, if you can get past that, give yourself a hand clap because they are bad. But anyway, now we are just going to get all of this sealed, pinch these together as best you can, get it all sealed up. That way the sausage and cheese mixture doesn't seep out or they don't come apart while it's baking. And then we're pretty much ready to get these in the oven. I'm going to scramble up some eggs to go along with this. And then I'm going to begin working on some avocado. We love that for breakfast as well. I like to just take the pit out, just use a little bit of garlic, salt, and pepper. And if I carve them up here with my knife right inside the shell, it's such an easy way to get them cubed up and to serve alongside our breakfast. All right, now that this is out of the oven and it's golden brown, I'm just going to use some butter here on the top. That'll just give it some extra flavor and just really bring out that golden color. And then I'm going to slice this up. I wanted to tell you we had leftovers of this, of course, and I reheated the squares of this in the air fryer, and it was so delicious reheated. It was actually even more golden brown, a little bit more toasty on the top. It was so good reheated in the air fryer. So that's just a little tip for you if you make this and you have some left over. It is all plated up. We really enjoyed it. Like I said, this is great for breakfast, lunch, dinner, appetizer. Of course, we served it with our eggs and avocado. This was actually breakfast for us. It was so good, and I am glad I gave it a second try. And for later that same day for dinner, this is what we had. This is the Trader Joe's Mandarin Orange Chicken. Always a winner, so delicious. And then I'm going to show you how I made our noodles there to go alongside. So I decided to do this ramen, just typical ramen. And basically I am going to boil that up just like you always do when you're making ramen. But I'm going to add in some green onions and some cilantro just to kind of bump it up a little bit. So now that my ramen has basically finished, the water's almost gone, I'm going to spray on some cooking spray and put in the little seasoning packet. I know a lot of people don't use the seasoning packet when they're making ramen, but I am definitely going to use that today. And I'm just going to kind of fry up these noodles. Now that they're tender, I'm going to use the cooking spray there and get these fried up before I add in the other ingredients. And in my microwave, I just steamed up some fresh broccoli and I had some matchstick carrots. Got those all tender, and then they are just going to go back in with these noodles just to saute around, and this made the perfect side. Normally I make fried rice when we have the orange chicken, but I had not planned ahead, and so I thought, okay, these ramen noodles will be the perfect addition, and they were. Moving on to another night's very quick and easy dinner. I'm starting off here with these Smithfield smoked pork chops. I've been on a kick of those lately. They're just so good. I wanted to use the other portion of that cream cheese that I had used in the little sausage breakfast squares with the crescent rolls. So I usually don't put that in my mashed potatoes, but I wanted to use that. And I just boiled up my potatoes, put in that cream cheese, let it melt down, and then just a little bit of evaporated milk. That's my favorite thing to add into potatoes, the evaporated milk. I think it gives it such a delicious flavor. And then I made some macaroni and cheese. This was just kind of a comfort food kind of night. That's what I wanted to make, is mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese. I just boiled up some of these noodles here. I get those at Aldi when they have them. Just using some store brand Velveeta. Going back in with a little bit of that evaporated milk makes for a very quick and easy stovetop mac and cheese. So that alongside these potatoes, and then our pork chops. This was so good. This was another busy day of working to get the kitchen remodel completed, and this came together quick and easy, and it was very delicious. All right, for the next meal, these are the ingredients that you need. This is a turkey and dressing casserole. And let me tell you, if you have leftover turkey from Thanksgiving, which most everyone does, you definitely want to get the ingredients to make this recipe. It was perfect. So in my large bowl here, I am putting 2 boxes of the dressing mix. I'm just using the Great Value. And then you're going to add to that some sage and some black pepper, and you're going to just get that all mixed together there. And in goes the chicken broth. I use the Knorr bouillon powder to make my own chicken broth, and so that's what I've done there. You want to just get that mixed together. It will not be a wet mixture whatsoever. It's It gets a little moist, but it is not a wet mixture. So you want to get that all mixed up, and that is going to be what you're going to layer in with your cream soups and your turkey. Now, as always, if I have a recipe that I have followed, I will link that down below or type it out down below. This one will be there, so make sure you go down to the description box to get the full recipe. Now I have 2 cans of cream of chicken. The recipe called for 1 cream of chicken, 1 cream of celery, but I did not have that. The recipe actually did call for fresh celery as well, which I also did not have. But you're going to do these 2 cans and mix those with 1 can of water. Now here's the turkey that I'm using. I have a Ziploc bag here full of turkey that I just pulled out of my freezer from the last time that I had made turkey. And so I am just going to get this turkey down to smaller bite-sized pieces. I want everything to be about the same size. I can't remember the amount that the recipe called for. Like I said, it'll be down below. But I went ahead and used this whole entire bag of turkey. So I put a little bit more than the recipe called for, but there's definitely nothing wrong with having more turkey. It just made it more hearty, of course. And so yeah, I'm just going to go in now and continue getting this turkey all cut down to the right size pieces. It was still just a little bit frozen, but by the time I got done getting it all chopped up, it was just perfect and ready for the casserole. I did not film layering this casserole up, so I apologize for that, but you put the stuffing mix on the bottom, you layer on turkey, and then pour over the cream soup, and you continue layering that to the top, and then you finish it with the stuffing mix and pour on 1 stick of melted butter. That is how you layer it all up in the pan, and look at how delicious this is. Oh my goodness, you guys, we love this. Like I said, you just layer the stuffing, the turkey, and the cream mixture, top it off with the stuffing and butter, bake it, and you have the most delicious turkey and dressing casserole that would be just perfect for all your Thanksgiving leftovers. Now this one, there's no step-by-step process to show necessarily because these were convenience foods. I got these little tacos at Costco. You just fry them up in the air fryer. I've bought those more than once. They are so good. Then this tamale is like a green chili, I think, tamale from Trader Joe's. First time to try that. It was so delicious. I just served that with a little bit of nachos on the side. This was some leftover cheese that I had. That I made like the queso in the crock pot and had leftover cheese I wanted to use. So this came together, of course, very quickly. There was not any cooking really involved, just heating things up. And you need those meals from time to time when you're in a hurry and you want to get something on the table quick. And this meal was a few nights later. I had a little bit of the cheese left still, and then I had some leftover roast that I had done in the crock pot. So I thought, okay, let's make a different type of Mexican meal. So I started off with the Knorr Mexican rice, just a quick little envelope that you can cook up in no time. I put the shredded beef on top. I put cilantro, some more of that cheese, and then I just cooked up some black beans on the side. I do not like to waste, so if there's a way that I can incorporate things in that I have left over, I try to do it, and this meal was really, really good. We enjoyed both of these thoroughly. And then the last thing to finish out this video, my mother-in-law brought me this huge bag of apples, and so I decided to just peel them up, get them all sliced up and put in the freezer, which would be so great for all sorts of things through the winter. So I worked on these apples, getting them peeled, getting them cored and sliced, and I ended up getting about 8 quarts for the freezer. And that will be just great, like I said, to use all winter long. So I went ahead and kept some out while they were fresh and made some apple crisp. I will have the recipe that I followed linked below. Here it is. I made a little extra of that crisp topping because we love that so much. Here it is, all sizzling right out of the oven. I just served it up with some vanilla ice cream. Such a great fall dessert. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you found some inspiration. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, I would love to have you around. If you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, you won't miss anything. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys the next time.